Welcome to Policy on Demand's Week in Review. I'm Pat Brown. Now, before I begin, just a note, this episode was filmed at 11:30 a.m. on Friday, and some of the issues we're discussing continue to evolve. Well, this week was an unusual one in Washington, as the city had to deal with a major snowstorm, followed by extreme cold temperatures. Now, road crews have been working hard, but it does appear that the typical, this will all just melt, snow removal strategy really is not going to work this time around. But hey, spring is just around the corner, folks. Now, in economic developments this week, the Federal Reserve met and decided to hold interest rates steady. And President Trump has ended the speculation and announced that Kevin Warsh is his pick to succeed Jerome Powell as the chairman of the Federal Reserve. But the biggest Washington story of the week, by far, is the likelihood of a partial government shutdown beginning at midnight Friday night. Up until a few days ago, a second shutdown seemed really quite unlikely. The House had passed all of the remaining appropriations bills to fund the government and sent them on to the Senate, which was poised to pass them this week and send them on to President Trump for his signature. Well, that all changed with recent events in Minneapolis, the death of an American who was protesting U.S. immigration policy at the hands of federal law enforcement. In reaction to this tragic event, Senate Democrats have demanded that the appropriations bill that provides funding for the Department of Homeland Security must be reworked. Unfortunately, funding for DHS is not in a standalone bill. The House sent the Senate a single package that includes appropriations for several different cabinet departments. So as of now, there appears to be an agreement among Senate Democrats and the White House to separate out DHS funding and pass the remaining appropriations bills. Those bills, plus a stopgap funding bill to temporarily fund DHS, would all have to go back to the House early next week. For the moment, it's a highly dynamic situation, but it does appear that at least a short-term government shutdown is likely. Of course, among the government agencies who would be affected by a shutdown is the Treasury Department and the IRS, and we're just about to enter the height of tax filing season. Now, if we pivot to the international front, we do appear to be in a bit of a calm after the storm with respect to Pillar 2. The side-by-side package is agreed. Governments now must adopt it in their national laws. Now, there have been a couple of stories this week about countries starting to move ahead to adopt the side-by-side package, but we are very likely at the start of a waiting game. Countries have to draft legislation and then pursue their legal process for adopting it. It does appear that Japan is likely to be among the first of the world's major economies to adopt the side-by-side package in their domestic law. This could happen within the next month or so. Now, as we look ahead, much of the focus and attention in the very near term will be on the government shutdown, whether it happens and how long it will last. But we should continue to watch for additional guidance releases from Treasury, including additional CAMT guidance, as well as a range of guidance addressing changes that were included in OB3. We know Treasury has an ambitious agenda, and we know they will continue to work even if the government is shut down. Stay tuned to Policy on Demand for future developments. That's all for now. Take care and stay warm out there.